Yes. All right. Whoa, we're over there.
Okay.
There we go.
Now you're on that one.
All right. Well, welcome everybody to the Kitsap County Auditor's Office, the Elections Tap Room. We're here today to conduct our logic and accuracy test for this coming primary election. And we've got representatives from the Secretary of State's office here with us, as well as observers and staff. I'm going to hand this off to Regina McCrae, my elections manager, who will explain everything that we're going to be doing here for this audit today.
Thank you, Paul. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Logic and Accuracy Test for the August 6th primary. I am Regina McCrae, the Elections Manager for Kitsap County, and I'm going to have everyone else introduce themselves. Zach?
Zach Regis, Technology Analyst.
Behind the camera.
Steve Gardner, Public Information Officer.
Paul Prosiv, Secretary of State's Office, Certification and Training Lead.
Chuck DaCosta, Kitsap County Republican Party Representative.
Francis Doyle, Kitsap County Republican Party Representative.
Michael Aguirre, Technology Analyst.
Kaylee Green, Office Support Specialist.
Ruby Taylor, Kitsap County Republican Observer.
Well, welcome, everyone. So in this primary, there are 24 contests and 6 measures in this election. And the test is being conducted in accordance with RCW 29A.12.130. Today, we'll be testing the programming of the digital scan ballot counting system to verify it correctly counts all votes cast for candidates appearing in this election. This is our accessible, where is our accessible voting unit? Somewhere around here. It's in the lobby because we're in the 19 days. But anyway, it's called a touch writer. It can be used in an electronic marking device, and it has been pre-tested, and that's why it's out for the 18 days. It's not an electronic voting device and does not record any votes, and no votes are retained by the machine, and that's WAC 434-335-520. So we confirm that all target areas are working properly on the device and all the text on the screen matches the text from the paper ballots. And so this is our tabulation room. It's a secure facility with card key entry. Upon completion of the LNA, election staff are not permitted in the room by themselves, and we have a 2-card authorization, so one person can't use their badge to get in. It has to be 2 people in this room until we certify. And then we have 24/7 video surveillance anywhere, anytime someone's leaving this room or this area. There's cameras all in this room here. This room is not connected to the internet at all. And then digital ballot scan stations are separate from the tabulation station. Okay. So our first step is to run a 0 report from the tabulation station. And so they've been doing a lot of testing in here on the ballots to make sure they're counting correctly. So they've cleared their results from the previous tests, and so they're going to run a 0 report that shows no results have been uploaded and tabulated in the system.
Just want to say.
Timers are a little slow, but it gets the job done. Paul, would you like to verify that it's all zeros?
Yeah, I know it.
So they're just verifying that all there's zero reporting on this, results page right now.
This is where we have the blessings and you're not changing them. Oops. I did theirs. Oof. It's it.
All zeros.
Perfect. All right, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna demonstrate the ballot scanning. So both sides of the ballots are scanned simultaneously and displayed on the screen. You can watch that. After the scanning is complete, we'll verify the correct number of ballots and face pages were scanned, and the number of faces is double the number of ballots because it's counting both sides. And then they will manually resolve undervotes and overvotes. And there's a color coding once they get to that part, so go ahead.
All right. Or the resolution. So. You're not supposed to be clipping ballots from that sort of thing, and copying ballots to a screen.
You had a rejected one?
Oh. You're trying to opposite or something like that. Oh, right. So,
part of our security.
Yeah.
We're running this back because you reject one and you want all of that. Because, I'm in the little.
Regina, your mic's not picking up anymore. So
Can you hear me
speak
now?
louder.
No, you just gotta talk about it.
Go ahead and do something.
So one of the pages were folded over, so it didn't count.
Right.
So are you deleting that batch?
It'll overwrite that.
And overwrite the back?
We discard it. There's a discard, so it just doesn't count.
Okay.
If we didn't, it would create errors because of the duplicates, and then we'd be kicking all of the other ballots out because of the serial number.
Both the same serial number, yeah.
Right.
We did test that during the LNA that we let the parties participate in. We took and duplicated a ballot into a batch from another machine just to show
That's great.
the system. So we had an LNA for the parties. They fill out their own matrix.
Oh, fun.
We scanned and then duplicated for them so that they could see. They could use a Sharpie, use a pencil, all the different things. And we did that before doing LNA, our official LNA. That was a couple years ago. We'll
Since
probably
we have a representative here from Secretary of State, I'll ask an embarrassing question. Do all counties in Washington State use serialized ballots and will kick it out if you had a redundant ballot? And if not all, which I know it's not all, can you tell me about how many are using serialized ballots and when the other ones you think you might know when they're planning to use?
Yeah, that level of detail I have to get back to.
you
Because
have no idea.
I don't know off the top of my
I
head.
think that'd be very important. That's an issue that's been going across a lot of states.
And if there's enough, if all of the systems are capable, that was one of the features of part, but I don't know if clear ballot is an example of serialized ballots are.
Yeah, and it's not a, as far as I know, I don't look into it, it's not a federal requirement that the EAC provides. There's the EAC is the federal group.
So I'll give you my cards in for messing around.
Yeah, we asked that over a year ago, if you tested everything with a duplicate ballot in the batch, and the guy
What
said
I'll do
no.
is I'll send you over to,
I mean,
contact the center.
That's a simple, it seems that's a simple test.
But, you have a card, I'll take it. And I'll have we have a specialist for all
I
the
just want to
systems.
know, how many of the states, and do they have a timetable where they're trying to implement
How
that?
many of the counties?
How many of the counties?
Right, yeah.
I think we're one of the only ones.
Sure.
I mean, I
know there've
can't, I
been
just-
upgrades, but I'm not sure.
It does create another level of complexity
It
when
does.
we're doing our work to get it so we can have serialized.
We have all the backups, and you gotta estimate how many you're gonna use, and you're gonna store 5 different places you're gonna have people vote, and you don't know what
That's part of the
counties are coming in from, so you have to have a whole set of ballots on each one of those. Yeah, it's quite complicated.
But it's worth
Well, it's another
It's
layer.
a level of
It's
security,
another
that's
layer.
a major step.
It's another layer. The other piece of security that we have, of course, with any sort of the other ballot, duplication, right? And you're talking about, I'll call it duplication, because they recreated the ballot that wasn't supposed to be,
right.
because y'all are aware of the duplication
Yeah,
process when
yeah.
something's ripped.
Yeah, yeah.
I just want to be clear. Yeah. But the other piece is that at the end, these guys and everybody across the state have to balance their envelopes and their ballots. So
you
even,
can't stick in a ballot.
Correct.
Somebody,
Shown in an envelope.
and of course, some envelopes come with no ballot in it, that's
But
not
we
the whole
also,
issue, but.
yeah, but we account for that as well.
right, and that, and so it's all about the paper trail. And so again, even if, and I'll take your card back and talk to my, the specialist in my group on the systems. to
That
get
is a
your answer.
multifaceted issue, because it ties into
Adjudicate.
how can more people vote than you have registered voters?
We're
And how,
adjudicating.
if you have serialized ballots and you match it up with your envelopes, you've already certified the signatures and all this good stuff that he is a valid voter, so you can't have more voters.
Right.
Because you won't accept it. So having serialized ballots and signature verification is a multifaceted quality check, which is very good.
Well, and then on top of that, again, you have balancing of ballots and envelopes.
Yeah, that's what I just said, right.
So I'm
You
saying,
can't have
this
more
would be,
ballots for
this would be
two
a
or three
second.
ways you can't have more ballots, if you have serialized ballots and a ballot cross check
Yes.
with the envelopes.
Yes.
All
Okay, so
right.
now they're working on
Right, and-
adjudication here. Unless you get something to talk.
I was just gonna say, so there were 21 ballot styles for this test that they just ran. And so it contained 531 ballots. And again, the test is created in accordance to WAC 434, 335, 323. And that deck includes one overvote for each contest and one blank ballot.
Maybe you can explain for the newcomer here, what they're doing here is a check mark and a square with no name, and so what operation are you taking place and what are you telling the computer?
So if they do a write-in and they just mark the box and don't put a name, we're rejecting those because there's no write-in there. We do have for this election a write-in candidate for the Commissioner District One. And so we'll have to tabulate those if they get 1% of the vote.
So this is part of when we're doing our work to scan ballots in. When they're processing to get them ready, they separate ballots that have write-ins because we call those further review because it takes this extra step, and we try to do further review in batches of themselves so that we can process more ballots faster to get to a final result quicker. But during LNA, we have to intermix them, and then they have to go through and do this now. Yeah, but they're color coded, so the green tells it that it was marked, but then they have to go in and identify if they found 2 marks in it, so an overvote, it would have a different color, it would be red, because then it would be showing you that there were 2 votes, and you have to go in and determine was that truly an overvote, and that's part of that adjudication. So.
There's always 2 people to adjudicate. One person can make that decision when they're doing this.
Oh, it's 2 people usually and observers around, so yeah, I mean, there's a lot of eyes on this process all the time.
I appreciate the directions up here as well for observers, you know. who might not be-
At one point too, we had the color coded so that when the system comes up and it's showing you green, I thought we had something up on the wall that explained what green was versus red versus yellow. I don't see it now, but I think that was before we laminated these. This makes it easier for everybody to understand what we're looking for. But yeah, these monitors make it so much better for the observers.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, even from the extent that, Chuck could be out there watching the turn and see what was happening, and it's easy.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I like the windows. We just came from Snohomish as well, and they just built their new
Yeah.
facility.
I haven't seen it yet, I just saw a few
It was
pictures.
really cool. Yeah, they have an entire observer track, if you will, it just goes around the entire
Oh, wow.
facility, and they can see on either side. Inside the center of that track is the opening, so they do the opening and all this. bring it in up from the elevator, and it goes through the sorter, and all that. It's pretty cool, and signature verification.
I liked that, what I saw, their signage, tells what step of the process.
Yes,
And I
yeah,
liked that.
I got some photos of it. I can show you if you want.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
they
like
they had good, really beautifully done decals, on the wall at each step, and then they had at the very beginning in the lobby area, they had the whole path of the ballot, all the way through, which was really neat. Yeah. So, yeah, really impressed with the way they set that up.
Overvote.
So the two departments did, we marked two people in the same contest.
Over.
Overvote. And so that just means that that's going to count as an overvote. It won't count, actually. So all we need is clarity on that.
For over.
Now, when you tell the machine to accept an overvote, then the machine knows to not count the vote.
Right.
That's a funny,
Yeah, the term
misnomer.
accept,
You're telling them to accept it, but it's really telling it to reject it.
you're telling it to accept that it is an overvote.
Overvote, and the machine knows all overvotes
Are
don't
not
count
counted.
the vote, so for the monitors, that's
Yeah.
confusing,
Yeah, it might be a little confusing.
but that's what you're gonna look for. So don't get sidetracked.
What would cause you to make that statement?
Because I just had a couple of them go by where they had two people voting for the same race, and he told them to say, accept that vote to the machine.
That's an overvote.
But he's really telling the machine, because the machine knows when you accept an overvote, the machine's supposed to reject that vote, so it's not counted in a tally for either one of those people that were voted for. That's just why it sort of sounds funny when you're looking at it. It's, he just told you to accept the vote, but there's two different people voted for in the same ratio, and they're supposed to vote for one. That's why I brought it up for your edification.
Thank you.
Yeah, so the examples are like they're on the wall, these are all different things that
Oh,
we're looking
yeah.
at.
Yeah,
And so what they're really, when they're saying accept, is they're saying accept the fact that this wasn't crossed out, this would be the only vote. What they saw, what the machine saw was this, 2 votes, that's an overvote, nothing counts. But in this case, this one was canceled, so this is the counting vote.
Okay.
And that, when they say accept, they're saying accept that both of these were marked and nothing was marked out.
In those books I mailed out to you, it depicts all that. Those 78 pages
That's
of
right.
instructions.
And I read those,
Good for you.
but I don't remember it all.
Well,
That was a while.
It's hard. These people here have to go through it for years to remember all that stuff.
I do remember, being very interesting, actually.
Nuance.
previous years, we didn't have to have so many write-ins, but the state went in and, our legislature went in and changed the law.
Yep.
And that's
You must
why
see
it's
all
taken
kinds
so
of
long.
voting machines.
Mhm.
This is just one of them, and do others have similar things to accept a double vote, or?
Yeah, they all have different, slightly different terminology, but this same idea, yes. Because what you're talking about is, another way to think about it is, I accept that the machine is reading it correctly, that's an overlap.
And we know the machine's program does not count.
Correct.
An overvote.
Correct.
Ballots.
And we know that because when we tabulate it, you'll see it
Right.
show up in the.
And that's when you verify
Well, that's the proof.
that the machine is actually rejecting those.
Yeah, so in this schematic, we know exactly how many overvotes there were,
All right.
how many undervotes, and when it tabulates, we'll then compare
Nice job clicking.
And make
what's
sure that
in the
you-
machine versus this.
That's tough. It is.
Yeah, so when we constructed this test deck, it was very purposely voted, so that's what we'll be verifying against.
And there are certain rules the Secretary of State, well, the legislature puts together on how to construct that matrix. So we all understand what that matrix should look like together, and so we should know.
Yeah, we don't get to decide what candidate gets more or less votes in each of the races. It's already predetermined, and all the counties build based on the formula for your matrix. So a larger county with more ballots is going to have different numbers than we will. A smaller county will have less numbers, but it's
We'll
very.
start to see a pattern when we read it off, and that pattern is dictated by law.
We get asked that often. It's like, well, how did you choose that person who got more votes than the others? We didn't.
Yeah.
But the law did.
There's a very slight bit of wiggle room in how that's constructed, but not much enough.
When you say the law did, you mean the voters did,
Now, Washington State Legislature, not the voters, the legislature.
determines the winner?
No.
No, that-
Determines how the
How the
matrix is.
Oh, the
matrix
matrix.
is
The voters determine the ultimate real
No,
law.
like, wait a
No,
minute.
just
We're in the
for,
test.
for
We're
the
talking all
purpose-
about the test.
for the purpose of the test.
We need to know who's gonna quote unquote win in the test.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
Test.
Yeah.
All right.
Otherwise,
That makes sense.
Only the test.
Yeah, because these are all test ballots. We actually fill them out.
Yeah, nothing.
They're
nothing
based
gets
on
more
the actual
quicker
ballots
than
that are
misunderstanding
being filled
there.
out.
Right.
But we've marked based on what's required on them.
And it all has to work.
Okay, anybody want to read this, Paul? So what they've done, they just finished scanning everything, this is the results, and that should match the matrix according to, the WAC, how we set it up.
Grand total. Do you wanna see, you wanna read around in front of us?
I should look at these as the numbers come through, sure.
So,
Who's gonna, do you wanna read it out?
sure. Well, good.
I like this
It's a lot.
group project.
Yeah.
It's a lot. Okay, so for the US Senator race, Mel Ram, 21. I'm gonna just read the last name. Garcia, 2. Tilton, 3. Cantwell, 4. Jackson, 5. Holyoke, 6. Dennison, 7. Nazareno, 8. Isaac, 9. Edmondson, 10. Good Space, 11. You have 12 write-ins and 1 undervote.
One overvote?
Yeah, 1 undervote. And see, this here, we don't say this because they don't show.
Oh, right.
Yeah, you don't.
We don't do that.
And then the one blank
One
ballot
blank?
that we have one blank ballot, but yeah.
Congressional District 6, Randall has 21, Clark 2, McEwen 3, Ralston 4, Franz 5, 6 write-ins, 1 overvote. Governor's race, Daniel 21, Hanson 2, Curry 3, Zimmerman 4, Mullet 5, Wheeler 6, Hoover 7, Stackhouse 8, Kearney 9, Anthony 10, Ferguson 11, Inman 12, DePaula 13, Reichert 14, Rivers 15, Clark 16, Grant 17, Lawson 18, Kale 19, Dare 20, Combs 22, David 23, Bogan 24, Brown 25, Melday 26, Hurt 27, Marshall Williams 28, Cindy Bird 29. We have 30 write-ins and 1 undervote. Overvote, I'm sorry.
So in this case, where they have 30 write-ins and the winner, say, was 29, you'd have to count the write-ins and then see legal write-ins. And that's the only time you'd count them. If the write-ins are more than the winner of the other race.
And so then the lieutenant governor is Harmon 21, Griffin 2, Hagland 3, Matthews 4, Peck 5, 6 write-ins, 1 overvote. Secretary of State, Tiggs 21, Whitaker 2, Townsend 3, Hobbs 4, 5 write-ins, 1 overvote. State Treasurer, Pelicati 21, Panic 2, 3 write-ins, 1 overvote. State Auditor, Hawkins 21, McCarthy 2, 3 write-ins, 1 overvote. Attorney General, Serrano 21, Brown 2, Ingber 3, 4 write-ins, 1 overvote. Commissioner of Public Lands, Lebovitz 21,
Oh, sorry, that was me.
Butler 2, Uptegroup 3, Peterson 4, DePaul 5, Anderson 6, Wagey 7. We have 8 write-ins, 1 overvote. Superintendent of Public Instructions, Saris 21, Reichgall is 2, Blair's 3, Olson 4, 5 write-ins, 1 overvote. Insurance Commissioner, Cougar is 21, Chung is 2, Hendricks is 3, Boyd is 4, Messenger is 5, Verzal is 6, Fortunato is 7, Murta is 8. We have 9 write-ins with 1 overvote. Legislative District 23, State Senator, Byrd is 12, Hanson is 2, Haynes is 3, 4 write-ins, 1 overvote. Legislative District 23, State Rep Position 1. Atterell is 12, Robertson is 2, Simmons is 3, 4 write-ins, 1 overvote. Legislative District 23, State Rep Position 2. Nance is 12, Gibbons is 2, Miles is 3, Felix is 4, with 5 write-ins, 1 overvote. And then we have Legislative District 26, State Rep Position 1. Henderson 5, Young 2, Richards 3, with 4 write-ins and 1 overvote. Legislative District 26, State Rep Position 2. Mitchell is 5, McPherson is 2, Smith is 3, Carter's 4, Caldier is 6, with 7 write-ins, 1 overvote. Legislative District 35, State Rep Position 1. Dan Griffey 4, with 2 write-ins, 1 overvote. Legislative District 35, State Rep Position 2. Anisco is 4, Couture is 2, DeHart is 3, 5 write-ins, 1 overvote. County Commissioner District 1, Rolfus is 6, 2 write-ins, 1 overvote. County Commissioner District 2, Coughlin is 5, Murphy is 2, Macklin is 3, Root is 4, Smith is 6, Mitchell is 7, 8 write-ins, 1 overvote. Supreme Court Justice Position 2, Bloom is 21, Mangia is 2, Shelby is 3, Larson is 4, 5 write-ins, 1 overvote. Okay, City of Bremerton, Proposition number 1. Yes, 4, 2 no, and 1 overvote. Central Kitsap Fire and Rescue, Prop 1, 5 yes, 2 no's, with 1 overvote. Kitsap County Fire Protection District number 18, Prop 1, yes 2, no 3, with 1 overvote. North Kitsap Fire and Rescue, prop number 1, yes 1, 2 no, and 1 overvote. North Mason Regional Fire Authority, property tax levy. Levy yes 1, levy no 2, and 1 overvote. Kitsap County Public Utility District number 1, Commissioner District 3, Poppy is 10, Polly is 2, Tip is 3. We have 4 write-ins with 1 overvote. And then Bainbridge Island Metropolitan Park, Prop 1, yes is 1, no is 2, with 1 overvote. And then we have PCO, Precinct Committee Officer for Precinct 143. Willis Hunter, 1. Lagdamio is 2. Jackson is 3 with 1 overvote. And then PCO Race 441. Eglin is 1. Hebert is 2 with 1 overvote. And that should be it.
All match.
So this shows that how the ballots were adjudicated, and then just what the state says that this report should.
Now, I have a question. Is that for, does this cover all the machines or just the one that you were
We used all 3 machines.
using? And are these the 3 machines that will be used?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. And this is repeated everywhere, I can run it through everywhere?
All the
Like how many?
counties.
All the
different
counties. Yeah, we conduct for all of Kitsap County.
Yeah.
So all of the Bremerton race was on here, the fire
Okay.
for
So
across
all the
county.
ballots in the entire Kitsap County will go through these 3 machines.
Excellent.
And every county will do the same process.
Let me ask a question. Now, when we get the new system up and running by the airport, and you're gonna use this as a backup, so you're gonna certify this system and you'll be certifying the other system?
We're gonna work out the details with how the state wants us to do it, because we wouldn't be using the system unless we needed to.
So if for
So-
some reason that crashed, then you
Then
have
we
to
would test
certify
those.
this.
Yeah.
And then, okay, got it. So you don't have to certify both. You will
No.
plan only if required. Got
Right.
it.
You do an emergency watch monitors.
Your results are stored on the site.
Sorry?
The logic and accuracy test results for this county, you store it on your site, right?
I get a copy of everything that they have here, and I take it back, and then that gets archived.
So you get a hard
Yeah,
copy?
you get a, yeah, so
We-
if someone wanted to go look at what
Yeah.
the transfer,
Yep. And then y'all will take it here, of course, and you'll seal it, and it'll be under seal and log.
Sign off first before we go to the upload?
I think you want to upload first.
It's up to you. I would upload first.
Okay, you wanna follow me then, Paul?
Yep.
Upload first, and then we'll come back and sign.
You don't store this on your website, do you?
It's not full of the.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna follow you.
You don't store this on your website.
What do you mean store?
Meaning the test, the LNA.
The test itself, no, but
Results.
the certification we do put up, but the results we don't, because that would confuse
Yeah,
people.
yeah.
Yes, it would.
So we don't,
Oh, just asking.
yeah, no, the results themselves, but the certification we do post.
So you got a video also of the process,
Right,
and we
right.
said it came out right, so that will be on the website that you can go watch again.
If someone asked me that, and I told them no, I was praying that I
Yeah,
was
no,
right.
yeah.
Because I looked at your website, I couldn't find anything on there.
So there, for those of you watching online, what we're waiting on right now is the upload part of the test. So we conduct the first piece, which happens in this room, where we scan all of the ballots, and then the information is then transferred over to the tabulator, where it compiles all of the information, gives us the results. We have compared those results against the schematic, the known results. Every race matched exactly as intended, and now those results have been copied off of this machine and taken out of the room to a machine that is connected to the internet, where we can then upload those results to the state server, where you would then see those online. So if you were sitting at home on election night, you can go to our website and see the results, or you can go to the state's VoteWall website to see the results. And that's what we're doing now, is testing our upload of the data.
So I have another question. I'll probably ask you. So there was a lot of controversy in our last election, 2020, 2022, about computers being hooked up to the internet, and we were told, no, nobody could hack them. We heard that forever, and then we found out, yes, it could be hacked, and that's what I heard.
I'm gonna shake my head no, and I'm gonna say
And
no.
if they were-
They
So
cannot be.
these are not, like, no one can hack
No.
them.
No, there's.
They're not connected to the internet.
No, there's, the only connections are these three computers here are connected to each other. And that's for the purpose of the scanning. So when this machine scans, it pushes its information down to that machine and so it can compile all of, we call that central, the last machine. And if a ballot goes through this machine and then that same ballot goes through this machine, they know that, wait a second, this ballot's already been counted. Because that's our serialized ballots. So when you look at the ballots that Michael just picked up, there's barcodes on the side. That's a unique serial number to each individual ballot. And so that's how we know we've only scanned the ballot once, is because the system will reject it on the second time through. So these machines, this whole room, nothing is connected to the internet here. That's why they have to take the information from here and carry it across to this other machine, where it then compiles all of that information and gives us the.
What you might be thinking of is we had some,
I didn't hear about it in
we had some
Washington.
bad monitors where it received some data from somebody's cell phone onto one of the machines, and we found that, and we ripped all those out, threw them away, and verified that we bought them displays, that the vendor is certified, and we've checked.
But
that
nothing-
cannot receive any data except from what we send to
And what I
the.
heard had nothing to do with Washington State.
Yeah,
It
and
was
Oh, okay.
another state. It was not
yeah, and
Washington.
these
I just
these
wanted to make
computers,
sure.
none of the equipment we use, even like the touch writer, which is up at the front right now, that it has no connectivity at all to the internet. So it's a standalone device, and it all it does is print your intended ballot. So you select on the screen what you want to vote for, and then it prints a ballot out with all of those markings on it. And then that ballot becomes part of the paper.
So the way you send it to the Secretary of State is you put it on the thumb drive, which you have locked up and sealed, and then they put the thumb drive in.
I
So-
remember.
Well, and these aren't just thumb drives, these are actually encrypted drives. These systems won't accept a regular thumb drive. They're purposely encrypted by the vendor. That's the only thing that the machines can read are those. And then we have a special coded drive that secures that information. So you have to enter a code on the drive to be able to even access that drive.
And another question. I'm assuming that it's impossible, I'm just assuming, it's impossible for you to be able to know someone who is not legally, has no legal right to vote, votes. Like, how would you know? Because their signature might be perfect. Go to DMV, apply for a license, fill everything out, good signature, they vote. No way you can know that, is there? I mean, I'm just thinking of this one out.
Well, I mean, when they get their voter registration, so the state takes the information that they provide and they check it against other known sources. So they have to provide a driver's license number, last four of Social Security. We've got their birthday. We have information, so it's checked against known databases before their registration is issued. And if there's any challenge to any of the information they provided, they don't get a ballot until they've cleared whatever information we need additional. We've got several right now.
You know, you can't help but worry about legal systems.
So here's the deal with legal or illegal.
Yeah, illegals, yes.
So, usually when we get something like that, it's from the Department of Licensing, where we don't know if they asked or they didn't understand, and they'll get registered, and they usually pick up the phone and call us because they're panicked, because that stops them from becoming a citizen at some point. So they're in a panic, so we tell them, write out what happened, we write a letter, so, because when they go to get citizenship, the first place they check is elections.
Correct.
And if you are registered, that stops the process.
You just shot yourself.
But what she's never talking about is, say the person doesn't know, because it's a second language, that they check the spot and get something. So here the system comes in, and they get registered as an illegal. Now, you did say that if you don't give green card holders, like a Social Security number, you give special other numbers you give them, so you can check it against a Social Security database or some other databases that ballot should still be rejected, that registration should be rejected by the social security database, because they should not be in it.
So I guess the other thing to address your concerns on non-citizen voting.
I wanted to,
Yeah, but
I did not have a US citizenship for 30 years, by choice,
right.
by choice. I was given many opportunities, I was like Australian, so I was like, yeah, I'm gonna keep my until I'm ready. So it took me 30 years to make this decision, but it was to me, a very serious decision.
Right.
And during this time that I'm living here with a green card, I can't tell you how many opportunities I had.
Right. Yes.
I had
Yeah.
numerous opportunities. And then my son, who moved, he'd moved like years and years ago, kept getting, could have voted, I don't know how many times, we scared him out. I always tear him up and turn him out because I'm so proud. But I know that people can take advantage. And I have a friend of mine, her mother's illegal, voted here forever, like forever. So I can't help but go like share that information. These things do happen and people do slip between the cracks accidentally. I don't think, you know.
Even if they slip through the crack, it's not that many. And so, again, we had, for instance, in one state where they decided to make all these people with foreign names prove that they're citizens. Some had green cards, but they had gotten their citizenship in the meantime. So they were disenfranchising those voters.
Yeah, I'm sure that there are like all kinds of anomalies, but I'm just, that's why I'm volunteering and because
Well, I just saw that where I was going with what I was at is that Arizona just did, they analyzed their voter registration database specifically looking for non-citizen voters, and they found that that number was significantly low. I mean, like less than 20 type low out of the whole state. So, I mean, it isn't just, it's not a rampant problem because we all have our process that we go through for checking and validating. And there are the few anomalies, just like everything else, and there are anomalies for everything.
well, none of this happened in this state. I was in California.
But this is also interesting because when we look at voter rolls, we look at, we provide them to the public, right? Those voter rolls are public
Oh, I did not know that.
for that
I
very
did not know
reason,
that.
right? For that very reason, you can go and you can check
voter
them,
rolls here.
right?
Oh, I did not know
And so
that.
many have. And so when there's all the hubbub in 2020, right? All of that, allegations here, there, and everywhere. I believe there are 60 court cases that went.
Oh, yeah, I
Zero.
watched the hearings. No, I
Zero.
watched the
So-
hearings. A lot of judges wouldn't even
Well,
take.
allow contest your statement.
Yes,
Go ahead.
I will too.
Yeah.
Recently, there's been several cases where it took them 4 years to go
Yeah.
through the process,
Sure.
but they finally found them hundreds of ballots being processed illegally.
Illegal, yeah.
But anyway,
Sure. So in those cases, what I'm saying is we abide by the law, right? We have the public information, and there may be cases that are valid, maybe 100, maybe here or there. Those have to go through the court system, and they're able to be challenged. And that's why it's
well,
really
we have,
important
we
for
have
this
various
open,
groups that trying to look at all these databases and look at other states and try to compare.
Yes.
When they see an option, then we try to.
Yeah, we had a great group. That
Yeah, we had a great
Eric.
one. Yeah.
Eric was great.
And then people ran away from
We use Eric. Yeah, there's another issue with Eric, but yeah, we try to compare with if they're registered two places.
Yeah,
Being misused by using it for vote harvesting.
Who?
in Washington.
Some states say that ballot harvesting is legal, like this state.
Yeah, but how would you use Eric? Eric just validates
Just-
your voter.
Yeah.
They find
database.
people that have not voted for many periods of times and they don't have serialized ballots, they don't have signature verification. They vote for them in
But
multiple
that's not
states.
Eric. But that's not Eric.
But they use Eric for cross-referencing the data.
I thought only partner states could actually even have access to it, so it's not